Pirate Adventure of the Frog King. Treasure Island Journey. Deep down, in the calm waters of the Kingdom of the Woods, there were legends about the existence of a mysterious island. It was said that there was a legendary treasure on this island. The Frog King, the just and brave ruler of the Forest Kingdom, has been listening to these stories for a long time. And now, curiosity was dragging him into this mysterious adventure. The Frog King decided to set up a team to go to Treasure Island. His courageous friends, the oak, the mouse, and the bird mouse, immediately wanted to join him. Together, they decided to embark on a journey to find the treasure. The next morning, the team completing their preparations met at the port of the Kingdom of the Forest. They were eager to embark on an adventurous journey with an old boat, dressed in sailor's clothes, with its sailboats open. The Frog King went out to the ship's boat and stood like a statue of pirates and said, "Are we all ready?" They shook their heads with enthusiasm. Together, they were ready to sail to this mysterious island. As the wind filled its sails, the ship began to move slowly towards calm waters. The Frog King, seeing the excitement on the faces of his friends, showed a smile on his face. With the excitement of embarking on an adventurous journey, they escaped the waters of the Kingdom of the Forest. And so, the Frog King and his crew headed for the mysterious Treasure Island. As they advanced towards the unknown, the excitement of the adventure filled their hearts. They continued to advance towards the island, not knowing what kind of adventures, tests, and surprises awaited them. The Frog King and his crew were leaving behind on the second day of their adventure, sailing to the mysterious Treasure Island. But there was a big difference between traveling in the calm waters of the rivers and traveling among the waves of the seas. At this very moment, clouds began to sink in the sky, and a storm appeared on the horizon. Duck climbed the ship's pillar and watched the storm clouds carefully. "The storm is coming," he cried. The Frog King and the others immediately took action to prepare the ship for the storm. They lowered the boats and strengthened the ship, but the strength of the storm increased every minute. As the wave pushed the ship from the peaks, the crew gathered together and tried to gather their courage. "Let's stay together and be calm," cried the Frog King. Duck, mouse, and bird sought to secure control of the ship as each other's support. As the storm shook the ship, the Frog King and his crew were determined to work together to overcome the challenges. Everyone felt the power to be with their friends, and they were gathering their courage together. Whatever happened, they believed that together they would overcome this challenge. And finally, after a long fight, the storm lost its power, and the sky became clear again. The Frog King and his crew have come out stronger and stronger together from this challenging experience they've lived together. Now they were closer together and strengthened their bonds with one another. Leaving the fury of the storm behind, the Frog King and his crew continued their journey toward the mysterious Treasure Island. Their belief that they would cope with every challenge they encountered was strengthened. Together, no matter what happens, they are determined to their goals. After the storm, the Frog King and his crew had finally reached the calm waters. After a long battle, as the ship proceeded safely between the waves, a slowly emerging island appeared in front of them. This was a mysterious treasure island. As Duck looked at the island from the ship's boat, he shouted with excitement, "Here we have reached our destination." The Frog King and the others directed the ship toward the island and advanced towards land. When they took their first steps, they were filled with a mysterious feeling coming from under the ground. As soon as he set foot on the island, they immediately began to investigate. As they searched for the tracks of the pirates and the clues that would lead to the treasure, they advanced into the depths of the island. However, each step caused them to encounter a new surprise. During their search, they found a mysterious cave. When they entered with curiosity, they discovered a room full of old maps and pirate icons on the walls. That could have been a clue to the treasure. The Frog King and his crew investigated the clues they discovered in the cave, trying to figure out the way to the treasure. Working together, they began to understand maps and signs. Everyone was ready to take my next step on the way to the treasure. The Frog King and his crew are determined to support each other in finding a way to the treasure, continuing their searches on the mysterious island. Their belief that they would work together to cope with every challenge they encountered was becoming stronger. And so, as the excitement of their adventure on the mysterious island rises, they look forward to the continuation of their treasure search. As the Frog King and his crew continue their searches on the mysterious island, they face a new obstacle: pirate traps. During their search, they discovered that there was an ancient pirate base on the island, and that the base was still filled with dangerous traps. The Frog King, the Eagle, the Mouse Frog, and the Bird decided to work together to untie the pirate traps and open the way to the treasure. However, the traps set up by the pirates were quite dangerous, and everyone had to be careful. As they walked through caves and forests, they began to discover the traps hidden by pirates. Floors full of holes, muddy traps, and hallways full of hidden passages were testing them step by step. However, the Frog King and his crew worked together and managed to safely cross every well. After harsh fighting, they reached the center of the former pirate base. Here, they found a last clue to the treasure. However, they had to develop a strategy to get through this field full of traps. The Frog King and his team, working together, managed to overcome the pirate traps. They gathered their courage and worked together to deal with every trap. Their mutual trust and solidarity led them to success on their journey to the treasure. After this challenging battle, full of pirate traps, the Frog King and his crew had taken a step further on their way to the treasure. The adventurous experience they lived together had strengthened their friendship and mutual trust. And now, they were ready to continue on their way to the treasure. The Frog King and his crew, after a tough battle, continued to advance into the depths of the treasure island. They were very close to the end. Though they were tired, the excitement of the treasure and the enthusiasm of the adventure they lived together continued to push them forward. Finally, in the center of the island, they encountered an old temple. When they opened a door of the temple, they were enchanted by the sight that they saw inside. The temple was filled with a great treasure chest. Here's the legendary treasure of pirates. However, in order to get the treasure, they had to solve the mystery inside the temple first. The Frog King and his crew tried to solve the mystery based on the ancient inscriptions carved on the walls of the temple. Together, they were hoping that by reading and interpreting the letters, they could gain the right to obtain the treasure. After a long and careful investigation, the mystery of the temple was solved. A secret mechanism to protect the pirate treasure emerged, and the Frog King and his crew gained a right to open the treasure chest. The box, full of gold, jewelry, and antiques, fascinated them. However, the real treasure was the adventure-filled experiences that the Frog King and his crew lived together. They overcame the difficulties. They worked together to overcome the obstacles. The treasure had strengthened their bonds and friendship with each other. This unforgettable experience they lived together would be a treasure they would never forget for the rest of their lives. The Frog King and his crew left the mysterious island in the joy of finding the pirate treasure. They took the treasure to the kingdom of the woods and put it in a place where all animals could see it. However, the real treasure was the friendship of the Frog King and his crew and the adventurous experiences they lived together. And this treasure would shine in their lives forever.